Hello, here we are, driving down the road. I do my best content when when I'm trying to pass time between one place and another. A lot of people don't believe in using a tiny microphone to record all their thoughts, and I do believe it and believe in it. People used to record themselves all the time. I mean, they record themselves a lot more now. I don't know. When did recording yourself really become a thing? I wonder about that, because I know for me, I think the idea in general of recording yourself for an extended period of time would be really odd for a lot of different decades. Like, just imagine how guarded people are, from one decade to the next. Now, people, literally their livelihood is putting out on display their entire existence, which is crazy. That is really bizarre. But that's kind of what people do nowadays, and that's totally fine. I feel for myself. I guess in a number of ways, it's the new social life. So, not that the old social life went anywhere. I just feel like the way that we connect to people is so broad and open that to put a physical limitation on connection is such a lie. So there's a lot of reasons why people do it. And I mean, for me, I think it's this, to the extent of, like, I have a podcast, which I haven't uploaded anything on in a while. The last thing I did was I wrote a poem about my son. And, for me, that's really special. And I wanted to share that. And I think that sharing, in a lot of ways, is very invaluable. It makes us feel connected. It makes us want to touch someone else's life and express to them the scope of our own lives, and say, hey, this is the life I'm living. Can you relate? And I think that's beautiful. It's such a special thing. So vlogging, in this case, Instagram, Facebook, we've all had our moments, has become something that is a sense of connection. It's a sense of expression. And, whether or not you edit it, or it's got cool music over it, or whatever it is, however it is that we do it, it has become our sense of identity. It's become our sense of expression of who we are and what we are as individuals, as human beings, as personalities, social creatures. It's more important today than it ever has been. For a vast majority of people, especially in their 20s and 30s, they've seen the way that you can express yourself and connect with other people, and on the internet. I think it's so big. So today I started a vlog. I've vlogged before, mind you. I took inspiration in those days. I think this is back in like 2008 when I lived in South Korea, when I was in the army. I took inspiration from Shay Carl, and I loved watching his videos. But I think the more that I've become my own person, the less I'm interested in seeing other people's lives like that, like to the extent of a daily thing. And I guess not, to some extent, it's untrue. I love seeing the way that people grow. There's this guy, it's so weird, because I someday I want to be like, hey, I've seen, anyway, I'll just explain. There's this guy that works at a supermarket, Publix, near my house, and I've watched his style and his features and his demeanor, just from a distance, seeing how they change. And I've talked to him a couple times, like whatever, rung me up at a check stand or something, but I've seen those things change in him. And of course he knows that he's changed, but like, it's a really cool thing to see someone grow. And I think that for me, I just really appreciate that people grow and people change, and to be an outsider looking in to see the evolution of an individual, it's really special. Like it's very you get an appreciation for the passage of time when you can look at somebody and see that growth. And I think for me, having recorded a 5-minute vlog, on my phone, for me to be able to do it, I think it's just special. Also, I have a better understanding of who I am. And back then I didn't really, it's a good thing. It's a good lesson to learn, and something that I really appreciate today. So consider this today a companion audio. Who knows where it'll go? But to create a vlog, and then there's something to that that I wanted to talk about, which is to create a vlog and then consistently upload it, which is like, I titled it specifically when I uploaded it, Vlog Day 1, and today's date, the 13th of February. And the point is to be consistent. Who knows, I don't know, because maybe if I go on a vacation, am I going to be uploading a vlog on my vacation? Like, even if it's just walking down the beach, which, I'm going to Florida this weekend. Even if it's just walking down the beach on a Saturday or whatever, like, it's such a special little moment, just to, wow, what a life. But those things that's the relativity of being out in the world and being part of the world, is like, you get to share that with people, and people can identify the humanity within you, the humanness, the humanity, the whatever it is that we touch in each other every day. It's special. It's so cool. That is the human connection. That's the thing that we share, the thing that we all love about each other, is that no matter where you come from, there's a sliver of you and me and you, and you know what it is to be you, and you know what it is to be unique. And we're all, as funny as it sounds, we're all unique. We're all individuals, but we're all pretty much the same, We're just different takes on the same experience. And that's so cool. That's so cool. Just to be a unique perspective in the spectrum of perspectives. You're a slice of life. And that's what life is. It's just, you get this minute gist of what it is to be human. And this is your little bit. This is your perspective, your opportunity. And so to appreciate that and to love that, and then to see that in everybody else and say, wow, that's the one you get. That's the one you like. It's I listened to a now deceased spiritual teacher called Ram Dass. Love his stories, and he passed away 2021, I think. And so great. He amazing storyteller, and really helped me kind of enter the spiritual avenue that I am in today. And so anyway, he used to say, like, the way he would approach different bodies, and like, oh, you're in that packaging. And so, the packaging, your circumstances that bring you to who you are. And so to look at our individual bodies and our individual experiences as packaging to this internal spirit that we are and know is a unique perspective that we can take from and we can learn from and grow from and appreciate for what it is. So I love it every day. And to see that process within each of us is really special. So I'm going to leave that there. I really hope you enjoyed this. Wherever it comes from, these recordings, I'm going to try to remember that this is just my slice of life. This is just for me. Ultimately, if no one ever listens to it, if no one ever likes it, shares it, I don't know. Honestly, do people share YouTube videos or things like that anymore? I just don't see it happening. But however it comes out, I want to know that I was there. And I think that these little videos and they're just moments that I can look at and say, oh, that's what I was thinking on that day. And maybe it resonates with you. And if it doesn't, that's okay, because that's kind of the beauty of life, is not everything's for you. So live well. Thanks, guys. Oh, and I wanted to add, I really like the format that I do a companion kind of recording aside from the main blog, because I really, really like the idea of, like, number one, you make content that you talk about. It's kind of raw in that sense. But then if I talk about something or I bring up something and I get a chance to listen back to it, which is what I usually do. I don't know about a lot of other content creators, but for me, I really like listening back, even just once or twice. This is how I edit my podcasts and stuff. So I'll listen back once or twice to what's said. And then if I want to, like, edit things out or, like, cut things, like, I remember having a conversation with someone one time, and I was like, I'm going to remove 30% of this because it's not interesting. And so I ended up removing a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I like to listen to things back. And then if something strikes strikes me, or, is really interesting, I could just revisit it, maybe expand on it, later on, in a more long form process, when I have a chance to think about it, when I can gather my thoughts, and maybe I articulate something a little bit better, or I express something a little more clearly, or really I just keep on talking about it because it's really interesting to me. Like, there are so many things that I think about in the moment that I then have a chance to reflect on. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what a what a breakthrough. And the same thing with these. Like, I record myself all the time talking during a drive. So I just picked my son up, so that's the break in the audio, and I have another chance to drive and chat for another whatever. So it is something that really I enjoy, and it is most definitely a blast for me. So yeah, I this is what I like to do. I know some people are like, they want to do a million other things that's not recording them. But also, to come back to the format thing, I also like, as much as I don't love background noise when I do a podcast, I really like the idea of ambience. If you think about audio, because I listen to a lot of lectures from the 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, even some from the 60s, I guess. Ram Dass, Alan Watts, some like speakers, like business speakers and philosophy guys. Anyway, they all have like this static ambiance, which is generated from the actual recorders themselves, but also like people coughing, dogs barking, cars in the background. Those are all like really very they're very powerful in terms of like, they just give you a sense of being there. And I think there's a sanitary nature in the way that people record things nowadays, that it gives you no sense of being anywhere, which I guess for some people is, you know, they really like that. They want that. They want to feel like they're nowhere, and they want to be in their own little bubble, you know, isolated or whatever it is. But that doesn't really add to the authenticity of a recording. And so maybe it's just me at like as like a consumer, and especially because I consume that type of media, to listen to something that has ambiance. It gives character to what is a very authentic, like, I'm not doing anything that I wouldn't normally do recording this. If I was in a quiet room, if I was in my sunroom, you'd still hear birds chirping, you'd still hear, you know, so there's never going to be this sanitary, you know, very sterile audio environment. I don't have a room that's covered in eggshell, you know. That's not what I do, and it's not what I am. Same thing with this microphone. It's not a perfect microphone. I bought it for like $10, and the purpose was for something completely different. And it just so happened that this is what I ended up using it for. So there's a lot that goes into it, but ultimately, like, you can hear the car, you know, driving down the road. You can, you know, if there's someone honked, you could hear the car honk. There's no secret to what I'm doing. I'm doing it safely. I'm not looking at my phone. I always have one hand on the wheel, you know, the other hand is holding the microphone, and I know that that's a little dangerous. I'll try to come up with a better system. I thought about getting like something to rig to the steering wheel, or, you know, like on the window maybe, so it could just kind of like hang there. But I don't know. I'm still working that out. And ultimately, I don't plan on doing it while I'm driving every single time. But this is kind of how it's working out right now. So we'll go with the plan. But anyway, the format of just recording very naturally driving down the road, this is something that interests me. And maybe it's so natural because I have so much to say. I have so much to, you know, that's coming out of my brain. And I have no problem. Like, I think this is like maybe the ADHD part of me, at least as far as my wife's concerned, that I have a million, you know, thoughts going on at once. Everyone has a million thoughts going on at once, but to be able to channel those into a you know, the cognitive stream of happenings, to be able to channel those into one linear verbal expanse, you know, whatever, one expression that we can all kind of follow along. Hopefully you could follow along. And I say we sometimes. It's I think, I don't know, maybe I'm a we. It's strange. But anyway, I hope you guys, whatever this is, I hope you enjoy it. I hope this is something that interests you. If it doesn't, you know, next time maybe we'll connect, and you can really enjoy whatever I'm doing out here. Because I mean, there's no rhyme or reason why I'm doing this. Oh, that's Wesley in the background, my son. He's got a stuffy nose, or a runny nose. We're dealing with some boogie issues, and again, just adds to this is real life. It's not a there's no fakeness here. This is authentic fatherhood and authentic life, and yeah, that's just the way it is. So really, again, just coming back to it, really glad if you're listening to this, that you are listening to this, and I'm glad that we can share together in this this thing that I'm doing. So thanks for listening, and until next time, thanks guys.